Hello and welcome to another edition of Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 12, Episode number 10 for Sunday the 12th of March 2023. Hello there everybody and welcome to the show on this Sunday evening. It is indeed the 12th of March. We're nearly halfway through it already, who would have guessed? And we are back with you for another Andy's Shed Live. Might be the last one for a little while, because we might be taking a break next week, but we will be back in a couple of weeks time with a new episode, so do not miss that. But yes, so what's happening? Well basically YouTube is in a bit of a decline at the minute. It always is in January, but it's been in a bit of a decline for quite a while now. Not many people watch these streams, and basically we need to get the viewing hours up. So I need the time to go and make other videos other than these live streams, and I'm so busy that Sunday evening is the only time I get to sit down and edit them. So we're looking at doing a few less Andy Shed Lives in the future, because in the last 6 months the pittance of money that we got from YouTube for these videos has fallen by 2/3. Basically we need to try and tweak things and do things a bit differently. So I'm considering dropping the frequency of the live shows and doing other videos instead of some of the lives. So I might do the lives every fortnight or every month or something like that, and do other stuff in between. But let me know what you think about this plan. Either leave us a chat now in the live feed, or leave us a comment after the event, or you can even send us a message through the old website andyshed.corepress.net, or even get onto our forum gpotelephones.proboards.com and tell us what you think right there. Right, let's have a little look. Let's see who is here in the chat tonight. And we've got Dominic, we've got Miguel, we've got Fat Hobbit, Wesley, Gambo, Keith, Paul, Penfolds here. Apologies to anybody that I've not spotted there already. Right, I'm just looking what everybody's saying in the chat. Dominic says, I saw a 1968 746L phone in Concord Blue on eBay, but it got away just before I put an offer in. Never seen a blue 746L out in the wild before. No. Well, all 746Ls are a bit unusual. Yeah. Keith says, hi all, hi Andy, sorry to have missed last week's live stream. Don't worry Keith, you'll always be able to catch up with it. I don't think last week's is up yet, but it will be. What I do with the live streams now, because YouTube inserts so many adverts, I take the streams down now. After they've finished, I take them down until they've what YouTube calls processed. Which means they've converted them into all the different bandwidth configurations for different connections. So they convert them into like 1080p and 4K and lower resolutions as well, for people to watch them back on different internet connections, and all that takes time. It takes a few hours normally for all that to happen. It's normally done by sort of Monday, sometime on Monday. But until that's all done, I can't edit the streams properly. So consequently, for that first 24 hours or so, well, you can watch the stream back. YouTube puts adverts in where YouTube wants to put adverts, and to be honest, they're greedy and they put too many adverts in, and it drives me absolutely insane. So what I do now is I take the live streams down after they've been live until I get a chance to go through them and chop out most of the adverts, and then I click on them to make them live to the world again as a pre-recorded show. So if you're looking for last week's and you haven't found it yet, go back maybe tomorrow and you should be able to find last week's, and then go back later in the week and you should be able to find this week's as well. So that's what's happening. I'm saving you from having to sit through hours and hours and hours of ads, because it is just ridiculous when you're watching like a 12-minute video on YouTube and there's ads before it and 2 or 3 breaks in the middle. It's just getting beyond a joke. It really is. They're just greedy. So we're combating it. Maybe that's why my revenue's fallen by 2/3. Who knows? But you basically wouldn't watch it anyway with all those ads in, would you? Fat Hobbit says, I think it's difficult to win on bids on eBay against people who are really determined and have large pockets. Yeah, it is. I don't enter into it. I put a bid in, and if I don't get it, I don't get it. It's as simple as that. It doesn't worry me. There's always something else coming along. What I don't do is get bid up. I don't put in second bids or third bids because somebody's bid against me and they're winning. I don't do it. I put in one bid. That's it. Don't go any higher. Wesley says, I saw that Concorde blue phone, but it was damaged though. A job for acetone, probably. Yeah, probably, Wesley. Paul says, you're right, Mr. Hobbit. More people know what to look out for these days. Yeah, maybe they've actually been watching these videos. Yeah, I mean, it's got to a stage now where everything I buy is damaged because I won't pay the exorbitant prices that they charge for stuff that's not damaged. Basically, I look at, for things like 746s, 706s, 711s, 741s, I look at it, and if it's more than a tenner, including the postage, I don't bid. It's as simple as that. If it's under a tenner, including the postage, I bid. If it's over a tenner, including the postage, I don't bid. It's as simple as that. I sometimes get things that have a buy it now on them, and if it's a multiple job lot of phones, and I count up however many phones it is. If it's 5 phones, I make an offer of 50 quid, but I never up my offer. You know, £10 a phone. I won't go into this price gouging business. To me, they're worth a tenner a phone, because I don't know what they're like. They might have got no ears in them or something. So yeah, because to be frank, if you keep your money in your pocket and you go out and have a look, you can buy phones for a tenner at a car boot sale. And if people are wanting ridiculous amounts of money, just laugh at them and walk away. That's what I do. Right, I'm just trying to read the doings here. It's a bit small tonight. I made my screen different, so all the writing's smaller. I want me to readjust my eyes. Right, where are we? Dominic says, I think it'd be good to see some more escape the sheds now the weather is supposed to be getting a bit warmer. Yes, Dominic, I do want to do some more of those. Fat Hobbit says, I think it sounds good. Don't overstretch yourself, Andy. It's not worth it. Very true. Wesley said, be sad to lose this, but it's your call, Andy. Yeah, I don't think we're going to actually go away, Wesley. I think the options are to either move the live show to a different day and possibly do it a little bit later in the evening. Do less of them, but keep doing them, but do them like once a fortnight or once a month or something. Or do them but make them shorter, so they're only like half an hour or something like that. Those are the options basically with it, but I've just got to make some time to do other things, because quite frankly the channel is in terminal decline at the minute, which is not good. It should be growing and it's not. It's actually declining. Although these live streams are growing, there's more of you guys on than there normally are, but in YouTube world you need to be measuring it not in tens of people, you need to measure in thousands of people. So we need to do some videos that might just break out and be a hit, like the one I did ages ago about how to build a charcoal gasifier. If you go back and look at that one, you'll see that's got way more views than anything else we've ever done. In fact, probably that one video's got more views than every other video on live stream I've ever done put together. It's that far in front. Dominic says YouTube can be ridiculous with ads these days. Yes, it can. Paul says, I can't watch all of the live feeds, Andy, which is a shame, as I love them, but always watch the recordings. Thank you all for making this such a great watch. Cheers, Paul, and thanks for your support as well. In fact, thanks all of you for your support over the time that we've been doing these. Like I say, we're not going anywhere. I'm just putting options out there to change things around a little bit. That's all. Penfold says, I use an eBay sniper to put bids in and the final 4 seconds to stop the seller bumping up the bid, then relisting later if not sold. Interesting. Yes, the sellers definitely do that. I had a bid on a fountain pen strangely cancelled 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I put like a £5 bid on a fountain pen, and strangely it got unlisted and was no longer available. Yes. So yeah, I think you're right. If I'm bidding on something that I really want to get in there, I don't use a sniper. I do it manually, and I do it in the last 2 seconds. I do it, but you have to have nerves of steel and know the speed of your internet connection. Keith says Sunday for 35 minutes would suit me best. Cool. Right. Well, that's one opinion on it. We'll see what everybody says, Keith. Wesley says, that sounds good. Didn't you try the Andy Shed late? I did, Wesley. I did try to do. We did try some late ones at one time, but just didn't get the viewers. Dominic says, I might be going to walk along the Leakin Manifold Railway this weekend. Crikey, Leakin Manifold. That's an interesting one, Dominic, to be doing. Fat Hobbit says, do some clickbait videos, Andy. I'm not very good at those. I'm not very good at them, and I don't watch them because they don't fool me. They don't catch me. I can see them a mile off. But I can never think of anything to do like that. And I absolutely hate YouTube shorts. I've never watched a short in my life, and don't intend making any, despite the fact YouTube keep pressuring me to do shorts. No. is a simple answer. Gambo says, I detest those stupid lamps that are being converted from phones, and I hate how people keep thinking a modern rubbish 746 replica somehow think they're genuine 746s on eBay and Marketplace. It's because people are generally stupid, Gambo. It's as simple as that. Donuts, I get home from work quite late on Tuesdays normally. Different office miles away. So a late stream might work on that for me, on that day for me. Right, we'll bear that one in mind, Dominic. We'll bear it in mind. We might try them again, the late ones. Might give it a go. Paul says there's a set of 4 interesting genuine GPO phones on eBay now that are being converted into intercoms at present. They're being converted to a 4-way intercom. Well, he says, don't take this the wrong way, but this wouldn't be what it is if there were hundreds taking part, though. I don't think there'd be hundreds, Wesley. I don't think there'll ever be hundreds. I just don't think it'd happen. I do like the small community feel these streams have, says Dominic. Oh, very good, very good. Paul says, all black 706s and one 746 with the mains voltage adapter. Again, genuine GPO equipment. That's interesting. It must be an ex-GPO engineer that's done that, I think, Paul. That's converted those. Must be a GPO engineer that's got a load of bits and done it. I would hazard a guess. Bertie says, I had the same thing with an Ericaphone recently. Key says, have you thought of TikTok, Andy? You know something? Never, ever, ever watched a TikTok video. It's too short. It's too short. For people who have the attention span of a gnat, it's it's fine. But I don't do short form stuff. The original idea of these live streams was for them to be like slow TV and be super long form, where I took a phone apart and fixed it and reassembled it all in real time. That was the original idea of them. But been doing it for so long now, basically we've kind of done it all. So I'm kind of running out of stuff to do. That's the problem. There's a very special content with detailed information for specialists. Suppose that makes us all special. Yes, Paul, it makes you all special, yeah. Fat Hobbit says, a late stream on Tuesday will be good for me too. Right, we'll give it a go, Fat Hobbit, we'll give it a go. Dominic says, I think TikTok must have been designed for goldfish. Yes, I agree, Dominic. I agree. I can't get into the short form video stuff because I don't tend to watch YouTube on a computer. I've got one of these smart TVs and it's got an app on the TV. So I tend to watch YouTube on a TV. So that is why I don't comment on videos and don't like videos, because I can't, because I'm watching it on a telly. I'm not watching it on a computer. I've got no keyboard and stuff. And that's the reason why I put the chat down here as well, because I realised I watch Big Clive on a Saturday night. I watch his live stream on a Saturday night, which is good if you're into fixing stuff and electronics and that. Big Clive live on a Saturday night. can't recommend it enough. Starts about 9 o'clock on a Saturday night and runs for a couple of hours. Quite funny, sometimes a bit rude, but always good fun to watch. But he's got an active live chat going. He's talking to people in the chat, but on a TV you can't see it because it's all in the chat. Now I know YouTube has chat replay, but it doesn't show up on a smart TV, and that's why I put the chat on the screen down here, so people like me watching on a smart TV can see the other half of the conversation that I'm having with people. So yeah, that's why the chat is nearly, I was about to say always on screen, but it's not always on screen. It's nearly always on screen. But yeah, we do want to do more of the Escape the Sheds and stuff. The trouble with the Escape the Sheds is they're quite difficult to do, and take a bit of editing and that. And you really need a team of people to do an Escape the Shed. It's very difficult to do an Escape the Shed on your own. I mean, Dominic's done one with me, and I think somebody else did one with me. But it's much easier with Escape the Shed if there's at least 2 of you, and generally 3 or 4 of you. It makes it much easier to make. And of course we haven't really been able to do that with the pandemic and that over the last few years. But now things are settling down a little bit, then maybe we can start doing more Escape the Sheds and stuff like that. Are you up for doing some more, Dominic? Do you fancy doing some more? Or anybody else who may be near in the area? I don't know I don't actually know where you guys all are. I'm assuming most of you are in the UK. And this is the other thing that I find odd. I find it odd that we don't get many American people on here. Because there is a great phone collecting sort of circle in America. There's quite a few museums and things in America. Paul says, I too love Big Clive Live, Andy. Learnt all about resistors, which is handy for converting telephones. It says, some YouTubers gather together in a group live stream, and those are always successful. Yeah, the trouble is I don't know anymore. Yeah, I don't know anymore. At least not in this sort of field sort of thing. I think what I do is fairly unique. The Escape the Sheds aren't as unique. There are other people doing stuff like Escape the Shed, like the Whitwicks. There's the guy in Manchester whose name escapes me. But he does lots of stuff on sort of old canals and abandoned tunnels and things, and he's a bit of an urban explorer, and he goes into these abandoned mine shafts and stuff like that. Martin, that's the guy, Martin Zero in Manchester. So he kind of does a bit of what we do with Escape the Shed. And the Whitwicks and Whitewicks, and there's one or two others that do that. But the telephone thing, I don't know anybody else who does it, and I don't know anybody else who does a live stream kind of centered around what we do it centered around. See, when I started doing these lives, it wasn't supposed to be just about telephones. It was supposed to be about all kinds of things. But there's a limit to what you can actually fit in here in this little room and get on the desk. Because today, I mean, for instance, today I've been moving an ancient Singer sewing machine that's about 100 years old, a leather sewing machine, what they call a Singer patcher. And that would be quite good to have on one of these live shows and demonstrating that, but I can't get it in here. You know, it's really hard to move because it's heavy. So it's actually gone to the radio studio at the minute because that was the easiest place to put it. But we probably will do a video about that, but it will probably have to be a recorded video, I'm guessing. Dominic says, I wonder whether a group call might work. Maybe a Patreon benefit. Yes, Dominic. I am thinking. I didn't mention last week. I don't know if you were here or not. But hopefully, if I can get the right cables and plug the right things together, hopefully, the people who have a CNET connection may soon be able to call in here and actually get on and be heard back over the stream. I'm working on it at the moment, and I'm hoping to have it possibly up and running for next week. So those of you who are on CNET, make sure your phones are working for possibly next week if I can get it sorted in time, possibly a couple of weeks time when we come back, sort of thing. Gambo says, we need to make sure we hit the like button. There's 21 viewers now, but only 3 likes so far. Yes, Gambo, you tell them, hit the like button. But you see, that winds me up. When you get YouTubers going, like and subscribe, oh, it really, really winds me up, that does. You know, YouTubers going, make sure you like and subscribe, is a bit like the BBC on the end of every programme going, thanks for watching Strictly, remember to pay your licence fee. You know, you just don't do that. Yeah. Yes. I want people to do it, but I don't want to have to keep telling people to do it. Keith says, I would be interested to see your fountain pens if you collect those, Andy. I've only got 2, Keith. Yeah, I've only got 2. What happened with the fountain pen thing was a guy in Sheffield got in touch with me because he'd got an old phone. In fact, it was on here. It was the GC wall phone, the mirror phone, do they call them? The sort of Bakelite, very Art Deco looking wall phone thing, a bit like a pendant phone, but it had got a dial behind it. And we had it on here, a few months ago now, 2 or 3 months ago at least. And he got in touch with me, wanted me to get this phone working for him because he'd got hold of this phone, it didn't work. And I said, yeah, I'll get that going for you. He said, how much do you charge? And I said, oh, we'll work out a price. He said, I fix things, but not phones. I said, oh, well, what do you do? He said, I restore old fountain pens. So I said to him, I'll tell you what, you restore me a couple of old fountain pens, and I'll do your phone for free. And that's exactly what he did. But actually what he did, he didn't restore them himself. He said, well, come over and I'll show you how to do it, which is what I did. So I went over and saw how to restore these fountain pens, and this is one of the results. If I can, hang on, let me get a different camera up. That's the wrong camera. That one, perhaps. So this is one of the pens that he did. If I can get it in focus. So now I know nothing about them really, so don't ask me anything about them. But I just thought they were quite nice. And the top screws off, and there's the gold nib of the pen, and it does work. And as you can see, it's one with a little lever on, because it's got like a rubber sack inside that you suck the ink up into, and it does write quite nicely. But if you want to, I know fountain pen people like to see the nib of the pen, don't they? So there you go. It's a bit mucky, because I do use this actually. I do use this for writing stuff down as I'm sat here. If anybody rings me or anything that I need to write down, I do actually use this pen. So there it is. It's very nice and shiny. How did I shine it up? Prasso. That one was actually quite shiny when I got it. But this one wasn't. This one was a bit dull when I got it. This one is different, because it's an ordinary another pen with a gold nib on it. Usually that one's a bit bent look on the end, but it does work. But it's a different loader, this one, because you unscrew this end and there's a little plunger that you press down. So you press that plunger down, stand it in your ink, and in fact I'll do it. I have the ink here. Bear with me a sec. There we go. Parker Quink. Give us paper. So what you basically do is you press the plunger down, then put the pen in the ink while you've got the plunger pressed down, then let go and it sucks it up. Did you hear that? As it sucked it up? And you just tap off a bit of the excess perhaps, and hopefully it'll write. So yeah, it does. You can't see it because it's swamping out on the camera, but it does write quite nicely. So yeah, that's one of them, and then you screw the other end back on. It's the same idea inside. It's still got a little ink sac inside that you compress and then let go, and it sucks the ink up. It's just a different way of compressing the ink sac. But yeah, they normally sort of just live up in the corner there. And this green one, I really like this green one actually. Quite nice that. So yeah, that's how the fountain pens work and stuff. So they're genuine old fountain pens. None of this pens with messy plastic cartridges inside them. No, we don't do any of that. I mean, we do it the proper way. So yeah, but the thing is, they're very, very expensive. If you're going to get into collecting fountain pens, for what they are mega expensive fountain pens. They really are. So it's a Parker Vacuumatic. Yes, it is a Parker. I didn't know it was called a Vacuumatic, but yeah, it is a Parker. You're quite right. Paul says, is that a Blake 7 teleport bracelet on your bench, Andy? Well spotted, Paul. Well, very well spotted. That is indeed a Blake 7 teleport bracelet, and it's even a proper one because it opens. Like, I had these on a few weeks ago. Maybe you didn't see that one, Paul. But yeah, and it closes with a reassuring clunk as well. There you go. It is indeed a Blake 7 Series 1 to 3 teleport bracelet. It is not, however, made how they originally made them. Originally, nobody will kind of tell you what they were originally made out of. It's a well-known fact that Leslie Judd on Blue Peter made one out of a pop bottle, and there is that clip of Leslie making that on Blue Peter is available on YouTube. That didn't open, the one that Leslie Judd made. The ones on the show opened like this, and nobody will really tell you what they were made out of. Nobody ever seems to mention it on any of the prop forums or anything. But I think it was a bit of drain pipe. I think they took a bit of drain pipe to make this in a bit and cut it in half, and then I think they took another bit of drain pipe, same dimension drain pipe, and cut that in half as well, and cut the second bit smaller, and then opened it out a bit and wrapped it around the edge of the inner bit, and so I think it was bits of drain pipe that they used, and because you've got a bit on the inside and a bit on the outside and it's coming together on a circle, that's what actually makes it clip and all together. There's no fancy clip involved in it. But this one, as you can probably tell, is actually 3D printed. I found the files on one of the 3D printing websites. Somebody had designed this, and it's pretty close to the original. And there are two little buttons that you put on. There's a little grey button on the original that goes in that hole there, and then there's this. Now on the originals on screen, this looks like a little pink light, but actually I'm told they were made out of a bit of orange perspex, and that goes in there. So I'll either paint that orange or find a bit of orange perspex and cut it to size. Or can you even get orange translucent printer filament? Because I could make that out of translucent orange filament. But it does all want rubbing down and painting to get rid of the slight lines on it. Put that in there now, and I can't get it out again. Oh, that's it. But yeah, that is a Blake 7 teleport bracelet. I kind of wanted one ever since Blake 7 first went to air. I remember Blake 7 first time around. You know, I remember episode 1 first showing of Blake 7. I was there. And I always thought these were a kind of cool prop. And there aren't many original ones about. If anybody ever says they've got an original one, it really probably is not. Because they made 30 odd originally for the television show, but I have since seen an interview with Matt Irving, who was one of the BBC's VFX guys at the time that worked on Blake's, and he seems to think they only made about 10 that opened, and the rest that you used to see in a rack on the Liberator, the rest didn't open. They were just a static prop. But they did lose a lot of the opening ones, because actors used to sort of put one on, then end of the scene they'd go off to the dressing room and forget they'd still got the teleport bracelet on their wrist. But yeah, that is a replica of a Blake 7 teleport bracelet. If you want to make one, I will happily put the files up on the website, on the Andy Shed website, if you fancy having a go at at making one. Unfortunately, I have to say they don't actually teleport you. I have tried and I'm still here where I started. So, yes. But don't even go down that rabbit hole of replica TV props, or even real TV props for that matter, because you soon start. I have for years and years and years, maybe more than 10 years, had the blueprints to make a Dalek. You know, a proper full-size Dalek, the way the BBC did it. And I've just never got around to doing it. But I would love to make a full-size Dalek. I just think it'd be brilliant when the Jehovah's Witnesses come to the door. Just to open the door and there'd be a Dalek standing there. which I'm led to understand is what Terry Nation, the creator of the Daleks, who incidentally is also the guy who created Blake 7, I understand he did have a couple, sort of, in his own way. So yeah, I'd quite like to build a Dalek, but it's time and effort involved, and then somewhere to put it once you've built it. But I know the theory of what to do, and like I say, I have got plans for them, and that it's a real rabbit hole because there've been so many different Daleks over the years. It's unbelievable how many different ones have been. Even just on the original series before you get to the new version Daleks. But yeah, lots and lots of different ones. So yes, who knows? Maybe some point in the future you'll see me building a Dalek. That might be one of the things that we end up doing. Fat Hobbit says, why don't you do some reaction videos, Andy? Watch some people restoring things and say where they have gone wrong. Yes, the trouble is a lot of the restoration videos on YouTube are fake. You know, when you see like somebody will drag like an 80s boombox or something out of a muddy river and wash it with a hose pipe and then do a bit of twiddling about with it, and eventually they have like a brand new 80s boombox that they've fully restored. Do you know how they do it? They start with a working 80s boombox and throw it in the river and get it all dirty. Then they do the washing of it thing. But of course it never ever works again because they've chucked it in a muddy river. So a lot of those restoration videos that you see are fake. A lot of them are done in reverse, and you can always kind of tell because the dirt on the things doesn't look right. It's like when you see a dirty car in a movie, the dirt on the car is not like the dirt you get on your car or my car. It's different in some way, and that's the thing on these restoration videos. A lot of them are fake. You know, particularly the ones that have sort of just a music soundtrack to them. They're fake. They're done backwards. Big Clive has mentioned this as well. But yeah, a lot of those restoration videos are fake. But yeah, I'm not sure how you deal with copyright on that though, because you've got to include the original video, and I'm a bit dubious about how the copyright works on that. Not sure how that works. Paul says, I still use a fountain pen at work, Andy. Keep it on my desk next to my 300 Bakelite telephone. Red 706L intercom and green 706L landlines, which frightens people as they ring. Nice one, Paul. Dominic said that's a nice clunk as well. Oh, the bracelet, Dominic. Yeah, the bracelet is an excellent. Yeah, that. All it is can you see? There's a bit on. There's an extra curved bit on the inside, and because it's a circle and you're kind of going around the other half of a circle, if you think about it, that doesn't want to go into it really, so you have to force it in, and that's what makes it go clunk. Penfold says maybe Andy will make Aurak next. That's how I got down this rabbit hole in the first place. I was having a conversation with somebody probably about a month ago about Aurak, and said I wonder if Aurak still exists. I don't even know how this came up in conversation. How the hell did this come up in a general conversation? I wonder if Aurak from Blake 7 still exists. It turns out he does. He lives with Matt Irving. But people have made Auraks. But it's a very complicated thing to make. It's a very complicated thing to make. Yeah. Pooper Scooper is here. Hello, Pooper. Says there was a guy called GPO Collector Boy, but that was just him showing his collection. Quite good all the same. But he doesn't do videos that often now. Yeah, I have seen some of his videos. Yeah. But I think he's back. I think he's one of the few. And of course, our own Miguel does videos as well. You know, Miguel does the odd YouTube video, and that, and of course, Christopher 2000 does. I have to think about it now because there's two Christophers now that come on here. But Christopher 2000 does as well, and he does. But he doesn't just do phones. He does phones and trains and all sorts of things. So there are other people doing phone videos and that, but I don't think there's anybody else doing sort of telephone related live streams. I could be wrong though. So if you are one of those phone video makers, if GPO Collector Boy is sort of lurking in the background watching this or something, get in touch if you fancy doing a joint live, and we'll do one. Fat Hobbit says, nice writing, Andy. My writing's atrocious, Fat Hobbit. I had to really think about that bit I did with the pen just then. Paul Nolan says, I think it was Martin Bauer that made the original teleport bracelets and Liberator guns, Andy. I think they were ABS and bits from a modelling company with the discontinued orange perspex. Yeah, I have heard that orange perspex, you can't buy orange perspex anymore. I don't know how the Liberator guns were made. I'm told the handle of the Liberator gun was off an electric drill. But they're quite a complicated thing, the Liberator guns. I believe they were just turned out to perspex on a lathe. But I could be wrong. Gambo says, if you build a Dalek, I will be there to help, even if I have to camp outside until finished. Be careful what you wish for, Gambo. We get one said, all fake. Paul says, I agree with Gambo. You could outdo Shawcraft models with the Dalek idea. Yeah, we might have to do a Dalek. Right, what do we all think? Right, we need Dominic on this because Dominic lives relatively near. Dominic, are you game for building a Dalek? Is he still here? Because he sometimes disappears, don't you, Dominic, before the end? Are you up for building a Dalek, Dominic? Yeah, we could have a go, couldn't we? Yeah, now the summer's coming, light evenings and that. Yeah, we'll have a go. Yeah. Yeah, the Dalek Building Association. There is actually a group of people called the Dalek Builders Guild online who do actually build Daleks. They've got a very funny video of a Dalek getting on a bus, which is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Because of course now buses have to be accessible for wheelchairs, so they kneel down and have little ramps that come out. Well, that makes them ideal for a Dalek. And there's this fantastic video of a Dalek stood at a bus stop, and this bus comes along and it sticks its plunger out, and this the doors open of the bus, and this Dalek trundles on and goes, "Return to Gallifrey, please." Absolutely brilliant. Dominic says, might be able to. Anyone in Bolsover to spook? There are plenty of people to spook, yeah. Are Daleks scary? People, people always tell me Daleks. I've never found Daleks scary. I've always quite liked the Daleks. Yeah, I always kind of. In fact, with some of the lesser liked Doctor Who's. Sorry, Whittaker. I kind of want the Daleks to win. Like the shark in Jaws, I always wanted the shark to win as well. Paul says, I live in Surrey, Andy, but would go up to help with the Dalek. Will help acetone polish your GPO cases too. All of you seem to live in the north. Feel isolated being in South London, says Miguel. You're not isolated at all being in South London. You're not actually that far away. I used to do quite a lot of stuff in London. Yeah. Dominic says they were very creepy in The Power of the Daleks. Yeah, I've never found Daleks scary. I've always quite liked them. They're not. There's certain things that you could build. That if you sort of built it and put it in the corner of the room in the middle of the night, if you got up in the middle of the night or something and forgot, you'd scare yourself or you'd be sat in the corner of the room, wouldn't you? But a Dalek, it wouldn't worry me. I don't find them scary at all. I quite like the Daleks. There's some very funny ones that go to some of the conventions. There's a lot of YouTube videos with some very funny Daleks running around convention centres and like going into the little restaurant cafe things in convention centres and stuff and ordering stuff and messing with other convention goers. Paul says Daleks were very dark and scary. Why? I'm just not getting the scariness. I'm sorry, but I'm just not getting the scariness of a Dalek. How can you be frightened by a salt and pepper pot? Because apparently that's what they were. That's what they were based on, apparently. What was clever about them is that they were not a man in a... Well, I know there was a guy inside them, but until then, all monsters had kind of had 2 arms and 2 legs and been a man in a suit. But what was clever about the Daleks was they were a radically different shape of creature, and I can't think of another time when there was a radically different shaped alien creature. I can only think of two others in the whole history of time that have been a radically different shaped alien that's kind of had a starring role in something. And one was the aliens in Starship Troopers. But these are CGI, so they probably don't really count. So Starship Troopers and District 9 type aliens, CGI, so probably don't count. But the ones that were really there was one. Now, you've got to be a certain age to remember this. There was a Saturday evening kids sci-fi show on ITV called Luna. Does anybody remember this? It used to run for half an hour on a Saturday tea time. It was on ITV and it was called Luna. And in at least one series of Luna, she had what was kind of a pet dog, but it was an alien, and it was just like an orange spiky blob on the floor. And I always thought that was quite good because it did not look like a person. There was obviously a person underneath it on all fours scuttling about, but it did not look like a man in a suit, and you could never quite work out where its head was and where its arms were and things. And it was brilliant on a really, really cheap and rubbishy sort of tea time kids sci-fi program, but really good alien. Paul says Terry Nation based the Dalek on some dancers that he went to see with his wife. He was taken by the movement around the stage with no legs on show. Yeah, well, they were Cossack dancers or something, weren't they? Yeah. Yeah, the movement was based on the dancers, but the shape was a salt and pepper pot that was on a table in a meeting somewhere. Penfold says the soup dragon was an early non-human shaped alien. Yeah, I suppose it was. I was thinking more along the lines of the ones though that were actually people inside them. Because you can make them any shape, can't you, if there's nobody inside it. You know, if you do it with CGI or if you do it with stop motion animation, you can make it any shape. But when you're doing it as live action, it's much harder to make it any shape. Wesley says, I can vaguely remember Luna. There you go, Wesley. It's not just me then. Who was Luna? The girl who played Luna in Luna. Did she end up being famous? Was it somebody we now know but don't remember from being Luna? He gets us talking of old programmes. Who remembers Journey into Space? Took over from Dick Barton on radio. I don't remember Journey into Space. I do remember Pigs in Space. Do you remember that one? Dominic says apparently Luna was created by a former band member of the Monkees. Really? Pooper Scooper says, I don't remember Luna, but I do remember Metal Mickey. Now, yes, Pooper Scooper, now Metal Mickey was around about the same time as Luna. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that Metal Mickey and Luna were interchangeable, so when one series of one finished, a series of the other one started until the other one came back again. So I think they were in the same time slot and rotated around, Luna and Metal Mickey. Wesley says Luna was Patsy Kensit. Really? Patsy Kensit, out of the band Eighth Wonder and also out of Emmerdale. Was Luna a childhood Patsy Kensit? I had a vague recollection that she was somebody famous that we now know but don't remember for being Luna. It was Patsy Kensit. Crikey. Wesley says, Metal Mickey, I got the single of the theme tune. Ready, steady, are you set for Metal Mickey? um, Pooper says, I always wondered how they trained the dog that operated K9. Ah, special dog biscuits. I think they fed him Scooby snacks. Yeah, it was a very clever dog that, I agree, Pooper. Where do you think Metal Mickey was before Luna? Right. Shall we find out when this is bugging me? I've got to find out now, haven't I? Got to find out now when Metal Mickey was on. Right, I'll do it for you so you don't have to type, folks. Metal Mickey is a fictional 5-foot tall robot. Apparently Metal Mickey first appeared on the British television children's magazine show Saturday Banana. I remember Saturday Banana. I don't remember Metal Mickey being on it though. That was produced by Southern Television in 1978. The Metal Mickey television show ran from 1980 to 1983. And I had a run of 41 episodes, written by comedy writer Colin Bostock Smith. Right, so it was 80 to 83 then, Metal Mickey. Right, let's see about Luna. Luna TV series. Luna was a British children's science fiction TV comedy show produced by Central Television for the ITV network. Oh, it was later. It was ran for 2 series in 1983 and 1984. The first series of Luna was recorded at the former ATV studios at Elstree, which is now BBC Elstree, where EastEnders is made. The second at their Nottingham facility. But Luna changed. Luna was Patsy Kensit in the first series and Joe Wyatt in the second series. And Joe Wyatt was one of the original Mini Pops, believe it or not, if you remember the Mini Pops. And she had a single called Stupid Cupid in 1982 and reached #1 in France. In 1984 she replaced Patsy Kensit as Luna in the second series of the UK science fiction show. And she also helped write the words to the theme song for the Wide Awake Club. Do you remember Timmy Mallett on the Wide Awake Club? Crikey. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked by this. Who would have thought? I might have to watch an episode of Luna now. See what you've done to me. Yeah. So it was 2 people. It was Joe Wyatt and Patsy Kensit, Luna. I hadn't realised it was a different girl in the second series. Hooper Scooper says Patsy Kensit would only have been about 10 years old at the time. Yes, she would have been about that age, yes. Dominic says, does it say the producer? Oh, I've shut it, Dominic. I didn't look. I didn't look for the producer. But it was Luna was done at probably had different producers, because one series was done at Elstree and one series was done at Nottingham. It was probably done that way because that would have been when ATV Stroke Central were having to get rid of their London studio because they were forced to sell their Elstree studio by the regulators because they were a local TV franchise winner and had won the franchise for the Midlands, but not for London, and so they weren't really allowed to have a TV studio in London. So they had to sell the Elstree Centre, and that's when the BBC bought it. But around about that time the franchise changed and ATV became Central, and that's when Central started. And one of their first programmes was another kids show called Let's Pretend, which was about the first thing made by Central TV as far as I'm aware. Where it says it's the same as Black Beauty. They changed the girl on that and the character's name. Did they? Where it says Mini Pops was on at the start of Channel 4, I think. Yes, they were, Wesley. The Mini Pops were a kind of bunch of kids who performed pop songs of the era, but they were very small kids at the time, sort of 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and were massively popular at the time as well. There was a real craze about the Mini Pops. I do remember it. Word says I can only remember the theme tune on Let's Pretend. Yeah, and that bird stroke caterpillar stroke snake thing that was on the credits as well. Mickey Dolenz was the creator of Luna. Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. I am absolutely gobsmacked by that. I did not know that. Gobsmacked. Where the hell is this going tonight? I'm learning a lot here tonight. I am learning a lot here about this tonight. What did you say? Is Mickey Dolenz a mank? Well, I always understood that the Monkees were all American, but perhaps I'm wrong. But I thought they were all American, the Monkees. But who knows? I've got no idea. I'm still reeling from the fact that Luna was 2 people and I never noticed the switch. One of which was Patsy Kensit. Wesley says, wasn't one of the Monkees from these shores? I don't know, Wesley. I didn't think so, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert on the Monkees. Yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea. I think they ought to repeat Luna now, though. I really do think they ought to repeat Luna. Come on, ITV. Get Luna back. I bet they've wiped it. Davy Jones was a man. So Davy Jones was from here. Ah. Interesting. What an interesting turn this has taken today. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by it all. Wesley says, I think he was on Coronation Street. What? One of the Monkees was on Coronation Street? I know Patsy Kensit was in Emmerdale. I know Patsy Kensit definitely did Emmerdale. She was Lady Sadie in Emmerdale, wasn't she? Patsy Kensit. I have somewhere got a videotape of the Montreux Pop Festival from 1980 something or other, and as part of that there is Patsy Kensit singing with her band Eighth Wonder. I do remember seeing that, and I didn't see it live. I saw it on tape, and I think I've still got the tape somewhere of that. And I bet that's something that's been lost to the world. I bet that's something that the BBC's otherwise lost, because they used to tape over stuff like that, like they used to tape over Eurovision Song Contests and things. And I think I may have got a Eurovision Song Contest that's lost as well, somewhere. I'm just going to let you guys go, and I'm just going to read the chat, because I'm learning stuff here. Pooper Scooper says, that Patsy Kensit was older than I thought. She was born in 1968. Okay, thought she was born around 1970 or 71. Ah. She was born in 1968, was she? So she'd be like... Patsy Kensit would be like 55 now then, wouldn't she? My God. You can't imagine Patsy Kensit being 55. I just can't. That just doesn't compute in my head at all. To me, she's still about 20 and in Eighth Wonder. Gambo says, Patsy did the Bird's Eye Peas adverts, I vaguely remember. I think she did, Gambo. I think she did. Although I think other people did it too. But I think she certainly did one of them. I'm sure she was in an advert for something, says Wesley. Yeah, I think she was. She was one of those people. She was at one of the stage schools, wasn't she? And so she popped up in everything when she was at stage school. So yeah, she's done various things. But yeah, crikey, I've learnt a lot today. Absolutely nothing telephone related. How the hell did we get started on all this? It was all to do with this, wasn't it? It was all I just happened to randomly leave laying on the desk. Oh, yeah, just this bracelet off Blake's 7. Yeah. So yeah, so the Dalek project does have to begin now, doesn't it? So yeah, what have I talked myself into? Yeah, so we might have to build a Dalek. Yeah, we will build that. And you see, although I know a bit about the history of TV and stuff like that, and that, one thing that I've never done, I've never gone to these conventions and things, you know, for like Star Trek or Doctor Who or anything like that. I've never done that kind of thing. But might have to have built a Dalek. Just trying to think if I know anybody who has ever worked on Doctor Who in any way, shape or form, and I don't think I do. I'm thinking about this. Do I know anybody from my Elstree days who's worked on Doctor Who? Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. Nobody's ever said, oh, I used to work on Doctor Who. So, no, not that I'm aware of. Yes, Patsy Kensit. What's Patsy Kensit doing now? Do you think we could get Patsy Kensit on? Do you think she'd do it? Can somebody tweet Patsy Kensit, please, and see if she'll come on next week? I'll do it. I dare do it. Yeah, I dare do it. Yeah, I just can't get over that about Luna. Have we found the alien then from Luna? Right. Oh my god, it definitely was Patsy Kensit. Yeah, I've just seen a picture. I'm looking though for the alien. I'm looking for the alien. There must be a picture of the alien somewhere. Right, I'll tell you something else as well, another interesting crossover with Luna. One of the other cast members, can I show you this photo? How the hell do I get this photo to appear? Right, so we can get this photo up. Just bear with me a sec. Where's that gone? Yeah, right, I can't find the photo of that, but right, let's try that again. Right, I have a picture of Patsy Kenzie in Luna. Are you ready for this? There you go. That is Patsy Kenzie in the Luna. I don't know the name of the lad on the left, but the guy in the penguin suit on the right is a fella called Colin Bennett, who was one of the screenwriters on Luna. He was also in the cast. He was also Mr. Bennett, the caretaker on one of Tony Hart's series for BBC. Was it Heartbeat or Take Heart? It was one of those. And Tony Hart was always sort of having to tidy up after the mess made by Mr. Bennett, and that is Mr. Bennett, who was also apparently in Luna. But that is, I know it's a bad photo, but that is the Patsy Kensit version of Luna, apparently. So that's series 1. So there you go. Can't find the alien though. Can't find the alien. That's how we got onto this, isn't it? We were looking for the alien from Luna, and I can't find the alien, unfortunately. But I will keep looking for the alien from Luna. I can't believe nobody took a photo of it. Somebody must have done a screen grab somewhere. Come on, people. The whole of the internet does not seem to have an image of the alien, sort of alien dog type thing from Luna. I cannot believe that. I am going to have to watch an episode of Luna to try and find it. Was it series 1 or series 2, the alien? It might have been series 2. I don't know. No, I can't believe it. There's no alien anywhere. But yeah, there you go. Patsy Kensit, Colin Bennett, and the lad I don't know. From the first series of Luna. That looks like one of the publicity shots that was probably in like TV Times or something. So yeah, there you go. Never let it be said we don't go off at some strange tangents here. Right. So yes. Right. We've almost got there, I think, for today. Pooper Scoop says BBC taped over most of the Top of the Pops too from the late 60s to about 1974. Yeah, they were good at that. They taped over a lot of things. I don't know if ITV did it as well. I've never found out if ITV did it or not, but certainly BBC did it. Wesley says the show with Mr. Bennett was Take Heart, or was it Heartbeat? Because there was Take Heart and Heartbeat, and I'm not really sure what the difference is. One of them had Margot on. Tony had an assistant called Margot on one of them. But I think Marv was on them all. Well, it says Mr. Bennett, he portrayed a kind of caretaker character. Yes, he was the caretaker. Gabbo says, I knew him as Mr. Bennett, but wasn't sure where. Yeah, that's it, that's who he was. Pooper Scooper says, I like the plasticine guy. That was Morph, who went on to have his own amazing adventures. Or maybe it was Chaz, because he had a friend called Chaz, didn't he? Penfold says Chaz was better than Morph. What was that little one, plasticine chap? Yes. In fact, when it went on to the Amazing Adventures of Morph, which were little 5-minute animated things that spun off from him appearing with Tony Hart, the Amazing Adventures of Morph, Morph had a whole family, including some female relative, sister or something, that was made out of tinfoil, that I thought was quite clever. Penfold says Morph was sort of reddish brown and Chaz was grey. Yeah, that's right. Chaz was a very pale grey, or very, 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 very pale sort of buff colour. Yeah. Well, it says it could have been Heartbeat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was Take Heart or Heartbeat, but Mr. Bennett was on at least one of them. I think Morph was on both of them. I used to like that show. I did used to like that show. And Tony Hart used to keep winning Swap Shop awards. Nearly got a Swap Shop award. That's another story. But yeah, Tony Hart used to keep winning Swap Shop awards, and he used to make them into things. I think he made one into a pen holder, and another one into something else. but yeah, he kept winning Swap Shop awards, and I almost got hold of a Swap Shop award. I'd quite like a Swap Shop award. It's one of those things. Penfold says, wasn't Nick Berry in Heartbeat? That was a different Heartbeat. That was not the same Heartbeat. Yeah, the Swap Shop Awards, the trophy things on the Swap Shop Awards were actually quite good. I don't know who made them. It must have been somebody in BBC VFX, I should think. But they were actually pretty good, and they really were awarded, because I did wonder at the time if they just had one and just gave it to people, then got it back and then gave it to somebody else. But no, they really were awarded, because one popped up a little while ago at an auction that had been awarded to the cast of Grange Hill. And one of the girls from the cast of Grange Hill had kept this Swap Shop award, and it had got a bit damaged over the years, because it only made out of plastic and perspex and stuff. But it did turn up at an auction. Unfortunately, I found out about it too late after the auction had happened. But I would quite like a Swap Shop award. I'm always looking for a Swap Shop award, and I'm always looking for a genuine Dusty Bin off 321. There were a lot of replicas, but I'm always looking for a genuine Dusty Bin, the consolation prize off 321. But here's the thing that I've always wondered about relating to TV. There are all these shows where you get something related to the show as a consolation prize. Normally it's on quiz shows, and there are so many episodes of these shows. Why is it you never see one of these items? I'm thinking about things like a dusty bin off 321. I'm thinking of things like a blankety-blank checkbook and pen. I'm thinking of things like a pointless trophy to bring it up to date. And there have been countless others. When there's like all these hundreds, sometimes thousands of episodes of these shows, and they give these things away, why is it you've never ever 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 seen one on anybody's mantelpiece? A bully off Bullseye as well. That's another one. A bendy bully off Bullseye. Why have you never seen these things? Why, where do they go? Because I'm always on the lookout for them, and I can never find one. Penfold says, I always wanted a speedboat off Bullseye. Yeah. Where it says, nobody's looking for a Jim will fix it badge though. I am, because he's a part of history, isn't he? Yeah, a Jim will fix it badge is another one. Where the hell did all the Jim will fix it badges go? There must be some out there somewhere, and they are a part of history, irrespective of what you believe Jimmy Savile did or did not possibly do. I mean, who the hell knows? But the show is a part of history. The badges exist and should be saved as a bit of history. Wesley says, my cousin was on Bullseye once. Did he get a bendy bully though, Wesley? And that's the question. Yeah, a bendy bully. Look at what you could have. I did actually meet Jim Bowen once. I went out with a girl who worked in a chemist, and one day Jim Bowen walked into her chemist, and he was still there when I went to pick her up from work. But yeah, nice chap, nice guy, Jim Bowen. Pooper Scooper says, imagine us getting a Bullseye tankard and having to pretend you're pleased. Did they have tankards? I thought they had bendy bullies. I thought they were like a rubber bully sort of toy thing. Maybe they had both. Maybe they had... I don't know, I can't really remember. I didn't used to watch Bullseye very often. What did they have on Play Your Cards Right? Did they have something on Play Your Cards Right? Did they have something on Play Your Cards Right? Consolation prize? But there's all these little bits of history. You could make if you could get hold of these things, you could make a brilliant museum that would bring back so many memories for so many people. I'd like the drogma, the currency of the adventure game. The crystals off the Crystal Maze. Dominic says the Class 321 trains are nicknamed Dusty Bins. Brilliant, 321. Yeah, I like it. Dusty Bins. I think all contestants got a tankard, but the winners got a bendy bully, says Wesley. I thought the winners got speedboat normally. Oh, you live in Barnsley, congratulations, you've won a speedboat. Or the other way around. Yeah, I don't know, I can't remember. I'd quite like a blankety blank checkbook and pen though. The Bernie bolts off the Golden Shot. I never saw the Golden Shot. It finished when I was still relatively young, so I didn't see it. But at least not first time round. I've seen bits of it since. But did you actually get a bolt or something on the Golden Shot? Pooper says, I think I'd rather have the speedboat. Yeah, I think so, Pooper. Yeah. I'd quite like a set of blank-to-blank checkbook and pens though, because apparently they change it every time it gets a new host. So the metal checkbook and pen is engraved with a signature of whoever's hosting at the time. So the first one said Terry Wogan on, and then the next one said Les Dawson on, then the next ones I think said Lily Savage, and now it's come on, yeah, what's his name? Yeah, but him, yeah. So there's at least four different blank-to-blank checkbook and pens out there. Dominic says, I've got to go, but have a great week, everyone. The Duke of Edinburgh is visiting the office on Tuesday. Should he ask if he uses an Ivory 746? Yes, you should. Isn't the Duke of Edinburgh dead though? Oh, hang on, no, we've got a new one now, haven't we? Yeah, we've got a new one. The really useful bloke. Yeah. Confuses me, that does. Yeah, the new Duke of Edinburgh. I'm going to say, if he was visiting your office, that would be quite a feat. But no, it's the new Duke of Edinburgh, I assume, is visiting your office. Yeah. Ask him if he's got an Ivory 746 for sale. Now he's he must have been clearing out Buckingham Palace. So yeah. How would you ever prove the provenance of that? How would you ever prove it? I remember the hoo-ha a little while ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when Hitler's red telephone came up for sale. That was allegedly in his bunker during World War II, and the only problem with it was the telephone that was for sale wasn't made until like 1947 or something. But yeah, how do you prove the provenance of some of these things? Penfold said Prince Edward is the new Prince of Edinburgh, Duke of Edinburgh, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, it was announced the other day, wasn't it? Yeah, I've remembered now after I said it. Wesley says, the Queen's telephone will be worth more than a tenner, including postage. I can't believe she had an ivory 746. You'd think she'd at least have had a red one, wouldn't you? Or a black one, perhaps. Just a common old garden ivory one. Yeah. Yes. Well, who knows? But yeah, it's all interesting stuff. But I'm going to go away now and watch the episode of Luna, because I just got to find the alien now of Luna. I really have. Right, okay. This is enough silliness for one day. I've not had my pizza yet, even. Right, okie dokie, ladies and gents. Right, so what are we doing then? In the forward motion of things, right? Right, over the next few weeks, right, there is going to be a show next week. There is a show here, same time, same place next week. Week after, we're probably going to be missing for a week. And then the week after that, which may or may not be Easter, I can't quite work it out, we will be back again. So there's going to be 1 week off, but it's not next week, because hopefully next week we'll have the phoning thing working. I'm hoping we can get the phoning thing working next week, with a bit of a following wind. So if you're on CNET, if you've got a number on CNET, hopefully next week I will be able to give out a number for you to call, so you can actually phone in live and appear on the stream. Well, your voice will appear on the stream, and we'll do it that way. Right, that is about as far as we go for now. It's been a very interesting one today. One of the most interesting live streams I've ever done, because I'm the one that's learnt the stuff today. But yeah, and it all started from a plastic bracelet. Can you imagine that? I've got to do it one more time. There you go. Right, that is it for now. Have a fantastic week ahead, everybody, and we will catch you here around about the same time, same place next week for last one before our little break, and then we'll see about a Tuesday night late one as well. But I'll tell you more next week. I'll figure it out one way or another. Right, from me for now, have a great week and we'll see you soon. Bye everybody.